League Soccer.
Soccer has arrived in Charlotte. We are ready to party.
They're classy too, man. I can wear this on a date.
People who are most successful are the ones who don't just give up.
Top Bin 90 is proud to welcome the Olszynski Law Firm as an official sponsor. With 2 locations in Charlotte and Concord, the Olszynski Law Firm specializes in personal injuries, criminal defense, DUIs, workers' compensation, and much, much more. With over 12 years practicing law, the Olszynski Law Firm makes it a priority to treat each client with the focused and dedicated representation that they need. For a free consultation in English or in Spanish, give them a call today.
Hi, my name is Justin Olszynski, managing partner of the Olszynski Law Firm, inaugural season ticket holder. Just here to let you know that our law firm, the Olszynski Law Firm, has you covered. We cover criminal law, family law, workers' compensation, personal injury. We're here to support you in your time of need. Give us a call.
Hello, and welcome to a new episode of the MLS Corner, the best corner in all of MLS. Señores, yo soy de Charlotte y tengo aguante.
Yes, sir.
Yo paro por este equipo por todas partes.
Okay.
We just beat Houston and are headed to Miami to take the GOAT on, and I don't know, but I hear an echo. I hear an echo. Do y'all hear an echo too?
Yeah, I hear echo. Is that me? No, that ain't me.
I have no idea.
That's not me.
Hold on. You guys talk real quickly?
Hello?
Yo, Messi.
Hello. I don't know.
I don't hear the echo now.
Me either. But that's because he muted himself, I believe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear an echo still.
I don't hear
So
the
it's
echo.
on your end.
All right, so let me see.
That's because he muted himself, I believe. You got a double tab open or something.
Yeah,
guys.
I hear an echo still.
It's on your end.
You know what? I was so excited today that I wanted to do 2 shows simultaneously. That's what it is. You know what? I was so excited today that I wanted to do 2 shows simultaneously. I don't know what is going on. Hold on. I was so excited today. Do y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Hey, we need to hire an IT guy because I have no idea what's going on right now. Do y'all hear that?
Yeah.
I found it.
All right. Go.
You have YouTube pulled up.
Let's go. I got it fixed.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got it fixed, we got our man here, Mr. Lee. How are you tonight, Mr. Lee from FC Fan TV? What you mean? Dang. Somebody's still upset that the Spurs lost today. While we wait for him, we've got my man Brian Bam Mauer Media. How are you today?
Doing well, man. Doing well. I'm just really ready to talk about, just this run that Charlotte's on. It's all the momentum we were hoping for.
For real. David Palma from the Yeti Clan, my man. How are you?
I am doing absolutely great, my guys. Charlotte won. What better feeling than knowing that we're about to be in Miami watching Charlotte versus the GOAT? No better feeling, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen, a week ago when we did the show, we were heading to play Cruz Azul in the round of 32. A week later, we are back and we are headed to Miami to play Messi and friends in the best 8 of the Leagues Cup. That is incredible. The form that these guys are on right now, to be honest, it's not great, but cups, in my opinion, you just win the game. However you got to do it, win the game. Obviously, there's a lot of deficiencies still in this team, especially in the back line. We'll talk about it, right? But I want everybody to enjoy this moment, right? Because, this season has been so difficult for us. A lot of negatives and very few positives. And you know what? This is one of the few positives that we have right now. And we need to hold on because you know what? if Friday we go and be Inter Miami against all odds, against Messi, against Apple, against Don Garber, against the referees, against ESPN, against all of them, they're all joining forces to take us down. But if we come through victorious, we are not shutting up for months. I am telling you this right now. Lima, man, how are you tonight?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How you doing?
Good, good. How you feeling, dog?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. You know, team's winning. Got my retirement lottery numbers here. Not going to show them on the screen in case y'all try to steal them, but I won't even say if I won. But you guys would sure as hell know something changed.
Did you pick the numbers or did you let the machine pick them?
Let the machine pick them.
Dang, how much is the lottery right now?
It's like $1.5 billion, dude.
What?
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
400 million after taxes.
No, it's like 700 million.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'm going to buy me an MLS team, damn it.
Hey,
Hell yeah.
hey.
Yeah.
We got Denver FC coming soon.
What's up? What's up? Yeah, we play, man. I get some
But
real
he's gonna call it
DPs.
Denver.
Hey, listen. I got 3 questions for Denver NC, and then we'll start.
All right.
First, will you or will you not play on turf?
No, it's going to be grass in a soccer-specific stadium.
That was my second question.
I'm on it today.
Stadium, right? And then third, is it going to be sporting club, club de football,
No,
football?
Denver Hotspur.
All right, you almost had me. You almost had me supporting this team, but I'm definitely
That's
not
okay,
doing it.
man. You Messi lover boys can go do whatever you got to do, man.
For sure.
You leave
And-
us real fans over here that are going to stick by Charlotte FC. Damn it, or 20
For
FC.
For sure. Let's get right into it then.
Let's do it.
First I want to touch briefly on that Cruz Azul game, right? You know, we have to give a shout out to our man Kalina, right? Obviously, to be honest with you, I've been a critic of him this season. Lee has too, but you know what? The man came in clutch, right? David, talk to me about that Cruz Azul game, my guy.
Man, what was a stalemate for the whole match. I told y'all, I thought it was going to be more of an intense match. My prediction was 2-2 on the match, thinking there was going to be some action, you know, maybe bring that energy, but nah, it was a stalemate throughout the whole thing. Finally, we go to the end, get penalties, and man, Swiderski proved me wrong that he was a great penalty taker, skied that one, but then Kalina coming up huge on the PKs. That's absolutely huge.
For sure. I mean, that and we saw, like you mentioned, Swiderski misses penalty, and we saw Ashley Westwood miss his penalty as well, right? So I think someone commented like, hey, Swiderski and Westwood owe Kalina a dinner, and then he commented under that post, it was like, we'll take care of them, right? So it's good, man. I mean, obviously, I want to touch a little bit on the positive vibe, right? Brian, how important has it been? Like, I feel like we've seen what we haven't seen in the season where, like, you know, there's games that we can win and then we just don't. Here, it's more like the complete opposite where I'm like, okay, well, we're down 1-0 now. I don't know. We're playing slightly better, but everything indicates that Charlotte's just not going to pull through. Bam! You know, we win in penalties against one of the top teams in Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, it's been what we said at the beginning of the Leagues Cup. It was like, this is an opportunity for them to build on momentum, and I think they've done that in a big way. Cruz Azul, the match itself was a little bit underwhelming, I'd say. I also expected a lot of goals. Tonio Ramos, we had on. He's like, man, the defense is like Cruz Azul's defense is all out of whack. They've been shifting it a lot, and so I was expecting a lot of goals. Didn't happen, but I mean, just to get the result any way you can, like you said, it's a tournament. It's against a big popular club in Mexico. I feel like the end result there was a statement for Charlotte, and then it led to the result they had, you know, yesterday. And so I think it's gotten to the point now where Charlotte fans are starting to like talk shit to Andrew Wiebe again, which is like that.
Well, he kind of brought it on himself too, though.
Well, yeah,
Especially
but
after last night.
Yeah, but that hadn't been happening this year. That happened a lot last season. Whenever they like any of the MLS pundits would start talking down on Charlotte, fans would start really piping up, which I feel like, I mean, the team hasn't been there a lot this year, so they haven't had that opportunity to. But it seems like this Leagues Cup has given fans some bite back on the socials to to combat at the MLS pundits, which is nice. I think that's how it should be. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Lee, listen, dog, do we have to take Bank of America to Texas? Because it seems like we don't lose in Texas. We don't lose to Liga MX teams. We don't lose to MLS teams. In Texas, this is the second defeat back to back on Houston that we've had as well, right? Once in the league, now in the League's Cup. Talk to me about playing in Texas and,
Yeah, man.
the mastermind behind Charlotte FC, making sure that they scheduled Beyonce here so that they wouldn't have to play here. They would play with less pressure and go through.
That's it, right? The less pressure, man. That's why we're playing good. So let's just keep playing away. So talking about Texas, I mean, you're right. We go down, we beat Dallas, we beat Houston. Austin, y'all lucky we didn't have to play y'all this year at y'all stadium, man. Just saying, because we would have hit the trifecta, man.
Yo, for real, and we saw, let's talk a little bit about this Houston game as well then. I mean, obviously, you know what, our defensive issues still continue to get highlighted, right? And I mean, we'll talk about Miami in a little bit, but too, it's going to be one of the worst MLS defense against the GOAT who's in form in MLS, right? Anyways, we'll get into that a little bit, but let's talk a little bit about Houston as well. I mean, that first goal, it felt like half the team was out of position. People were ball watching, right? And it led to that first Houston goal. To be fair, right at the end of that first half, I felt a little momentum from the team, right? But I was like, what's Latanza going to say in this halftime talk? What's going to happen, right? Boom, we come in. Okay, second half, and I think we really that Kerwin Vargas miss as well. That's not talked about anymore because we pulled that result 2-1. I mean, when Swiderski came out and Aguiman came in, I for one, and a lot of you guys were very upset with that decision because I was like, we need to have our best player on the pitch, and he wasn't, right? And then our man came through and won us the match, or scored and tied. And then after that, good old faithful own goal came in, and we were able to win that match. Lee, talk to me about that game.
Man, a couple of things. The reason we're not talking about the Vargas miss at the end of the first half is because the Charlotte FC Twitter admin took it down. They actually threw some shade towards him. I thought, man, I don't think they meant it personally, but like after rereading it and then everybody calling them out on it, I think they sort of like realized, hey, this might not be a good look. But to the point with the goal, I mean, Houston was making that pitch really small in their half for us, right? I mean, they basically had every man behind the ball, and it reminded me of when Leicester won the Premier League, right? They would just kind of sit back and like a rubber band and then just spring forward when they had the chance and beat us on that counter. And yeah, we might have been out of position or whatnot, but still, I still think, the counter was what they came in to do, right? And they run it perfectly. We just got lucky, I think, with that second goal, that own goal. I mean, that first goal was on point, right? I mean, they said it. Lindsay and Patrick have been kind of working on that for a while now in practice and everything else, and it paid off. So, in order for it to work the way it did, man, I mean, it's about time we got some luck, right? I mean, we got gifted that second goal, and everybody's like, we didn't deserve to win. I actually think we played a pretty good game, right? Yeah, obviously, man, there's some spots, right, that definitely doesn't that we can bitch about and pull apart. But, overall, man, I think we played really good. I think it's going to suck that we're going to miss Nathan against Miami. That's going to hurt us big time. Does a fool step in and take over for that? What do you think, David?
I think he has to, man. Like, I mean, who other than that, who would step in other than where us putting Tuiluma off to the side somewhere? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel more comfortable putting a fool out there, throwing him in the mix, and seeing how that goes.
Yeah, for sure. Sure, man. What do you think, Brian? What do you think of the game?
Yeah, I mean, I would say like they had that one rough stretch that was like 10 minutes where they gave up that goal. And then honestly, they controlled decent portions of that match. I would say the main thing was the finishing, right? Like the Vargas miss. Bronico also had like a really clear chance where he just like, I don't know where he shot. He shot it probably like 20 feet wide. And so like there were and then
Bronico panicked, I thought, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he just kind of rushed.
Yeah, I think he didn't expect himself to get there, to be honest.
Yeah,
Sure. I agree.
And then Uzyak had a nice cutback to Carroll where he kind of just like let it roll, like a slow roller right to the keeper. And so there was like multiple chances in the first half too where they really had an opportunity to tie that game up, or I think at one point, I mean, that would have been taking the lead. And so they had those opportunities and they just didn't take them. And then in the second half, I mean, they got their one chance with Ajiman, and he took it. Man, I've been so impressed with him.
And that kid's got a big future ahead of him if he keeps this up, right?
Man, what? Yeah, he's been dominating the legacy starting, and he's blowing up as a sub in the Leagues Cup, MLS. No matter what, dude, he's doing.
So with the rules with the Leagues Cup, does that play into how the we got the rules in the MLS, right, where we can only come up like 4 times, I think it is, or play 4 games or whatever that rule is. Is that the same in the Leagues Cup, or does it matter?
I don't think so, because it's like you submit one roster and whoever's on that list,
that's it, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, because they didn't have Brecht on the initial roster they posted, but I'm wondering if they had like they left a spot or 2 open, and so maybe that's how they were able to add him late, because that initial 28 or 29 that I think Willie Stiles posted didn't have. I think that was because that was the big thing that was missing. It's like, oh, De Gea isn't on there.
Yeah.
And so that was like the confusing one. But then also Latanzio had said multiple times that like, hey, he's still working on his visa issues. But I'm wondering if maybe they had it short a guy or two, knowing that like, hey, we're trying to get his visa and paperwork done so that he can come in and join later on, which is clearly what happened. And man, actually, honestly, I was impressed with that little touch and his 1v1 take on, but then the whiff, which I was just like, man, this is kind of the epitome of this game. Is like,
right. That was it. I was
opportunities and then missing the finish.
Yeah. Hey guys, we can see your comments. Jorge would have been the one to post them up on the screen since he was running this show. So we'll try to hit on them as you guys type them until we get Jorge back. But yeah, so August the 11th, I guess, is when they're saying the roster freezes for the Cup, which could we put the Finnish lad on there? The guy from Finland, the left back, could he come on the squad if we could pencil his name in, right?
I can't imagine his paperwork's done. If it took De Gea so long to get his paperwork done, I can't imagine Uranen's paperwork is done at this point. I mean, he was just signed
last week.
Last week. I can't imagine that. I mean, based on how unless they had been getting this done behind closed doors, which I imagine not, because I mean this one all came out like pretty much on the last day. So
yeah,
my guess would be he's probably still a week or so out from actually being able to, just based on how most of these signings have gone. It takes him at least. I feel like a safe bet is like a couple weeks.
Right. So who do we put in left back? You think a full starts there, or do we move Jalen over? And
no,
I mean, their options are pretty limited based on because like Tuiloma is still out too, right? So he can't really play it right back there.
Right.
I mean, Carujo was on the bench, but God, he honestly, for me, has not looked like.
I think I personally I would put a full in there. And then leave the rest alone, right? I mean, the Vargas Merrim kind of debate still goes on, but I mean, anybody out there wants to get top being an internet sponsor, that'd be awesome. So laughing at Zach there, but yeah. So I mean, what did we think of the new Breck? Is that what we call him, Breck? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked lively, right? I think he was getting a little frustrated on the bullshit calls that the MLS does, right? They're a little soft in their calling. Like I would say over in Europe that they're like some of those harder tackles are normally overlooked and the MLS calls them back. But I mean, I think you touched on it earlier, Brian, right? He did the step overs and all that kind of stuff. And then he totally missed the ball completely, right? And at that point, too, I was like you, man. I was like, I think this is it for us. Like, we're going to do everything but score. And then I tweeted, like, we need a miracle on Mint Street. And then all of a sudden, like, what the hell just happened? We got 2 goals in 5 minutes. So it was funny.
Yeah, Houston. I said it, and I think in our group chat, like, oh, Houston's gonna Charlotte. Like that was kind of how the second goal.
Charlotte's going to Charlotte, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but that case it was a Houston is gonna Charlotte. So I mean, it was nice again to see the luck kind of turn in Charlotte's direction, which is the first time.
Man.
Oh,
Welcome to your show, Jorge. We did pretty good. I think we played it off like you were still here, man. We just couldn't throw people's comments up on the screen. So welcome.
I have
back,
no
man.
idea what happened. My stuff
we got you, man. We've got somebody has an internet the internet sponsor for you, man. We got you covered, bro. We got you covered. See, you gotta thank the people out there, man. We're here for you, man, just as much as you are for us.
Hey, this is perfect. All right, let me go ahead and leave.
So I mean, I don't know. I think he did well, right? I what, a 6, 7 out of 10 if you have to, right? Coming off the bench, right? I mean, I don't know, man. I just thought it was a solid game by the guys, man. I mean, I really can't bitch too much. I mean, if anything, we just get beat on that counter, and our defense is slow all around, right? So, other than Nathan, I didn't realize he was that fast.
What, man? He played out of his boots yesterday. And one thing that stood out to me the most yesterday was the subs. Usually Latanzio, the subs that he makes, they come on and no impact, kind of shot here and there. Yesterday, the subs were the complete impact on the match. You saw the subs, the game changed like that instantly.
It did.
It's very rare when that happens like that.
That took some big balls of him though to pull off Carroll and put on Patrick, right? I mean, like it would have been different if we were up 2-1 already, right? And you bring him in. I guess the only thing I could really bitch about on the game is like towards the ends there we were still playing like we wanted to score when there was like 5 minutes left. It's like, man, let's keep it down there, keep it in the corner. Let's just kill the clock off, man. And we're still trying to pass around like we're trying to win the game. What do you think of the game, Jorge?
Yeah, man. I think I explained a little bit before I got cut off, but I just thought it's been the complete opposite in this League's Cup versus MLS regular season, right? I mean, like, things have been going our way when it doesn't seem like it will go away. Remember against Dallas when we were down 1-0 and I was like, okay, well, this looks like we're about to lose. And then bam, Ben Bender scores for us and we win it on penalties.
Yeah.
That was like exciting. Necaxa, we were up 2-0. And I'm like, okay, well, we've been up 2-0 a lot of times this season. I don't know. Boom, we win 4-1, And then we go against Cruz Azul, and I'm like, okay, penalties again. Like, this is a big team. I don't know if this will go our way. Our first player, Swiderski, misses. To me, that's not a good start. We win that. Again, against Houston, we're down 1-0. I'm losing hope, and the team turns it around. Like, this is the exact opposite of what we're seeing in the league, right? So, I mean.
Yeah, when there's 3 points on the line, we panic. That's the problem, man. We just tell them it's Leagues Cup. Like, we just keep them all off of socials, and we're like, look, fellas, this Leagues Cup is ridiculous. This is going to go on for, like, till October. We'll end up winning the whole fucking thing.
We'll just be like, you're already in the playoffs. You're already in.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What would satisfy you in this league? I feel like right now where we're at, best of 8, like from now on, in my opinion, Charlotte FC is playing with house money, right? I mean, obviously you want to win it. Obviously, that would be the most ideal thing, right? But say we did get eliminated against Inter Miami, is this was this an acceptable?
I mean, we're expected to lose against Miami, right? Some people are saying we're going to get dragged. We're going to, Messi's going to score 2 hat tricks. They're just going to boss us around. But, I read a stat, I believe today, that we haven't lost out of 10 games. We haven't lost in 9 of them, right? Draws and everything. And I know we had that long run of draws, right? But Miami has to lose at some point, right? I mean, even though when Messi was over in Spain, they played those minnow teams over there and teams beat them, right? So he's going to have an off game at some point. So why can't it be against us on Friday?
Yeah, for sure. And this could be the very first game in MLS where Messi doesn't score.
Yeah.
Right? Wouldn't that be crazy?
Dude, that's going to put us on the map.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is a bit. So here's the thing with Charlotte FC. Anytime we've made national headlines, it's something negative, right? It's turf. It's Miguel saying that we're screwed. It's something that David Tepper said. It's not being able to play at home. Anytime we have like the big spotlight, it's never positive. This is the very first time in a long time where we have that opportunity that if we win this match, it's what everybody will talk about. Obviously, it'll be highlighted more as Messi losing his first game and not being, but at the end of the day, we're the opponents that did it, right?
That's right.
So I think it presents a beautiful opportunity for Charlotte FC. And secondly, like Miami's defense is not good.
No.
They let 4 goals in against Dallas, right?
Who beat Dallas?
Not to mention, that Ferreira had that 1v1 that he could not finish, right? So that game could have ended 5-2, 5-3, 6-3, right? But the problem is that if you give Miami a lifeline now with Messi, they're always in it, and that's the problem. And I think even if we go up 2-0, I'm going to still be a little weary on our team. One, because our defense has shown time and time again that they're not great. And two, the other team has the GOAT on their side, right? David, talk to me about this Miami game.
It's not only that. Like, you've seen, like, their last game, they were down. They came back, and they won it on penalties, something that Charlotte's been doing here previously. But it's not – we can't just focus on Messi. Messi he's bringing that energy and, like, a level of confidence to the players around him where everybody is just thriving around him. You see Joseph Martinez getting back in form. You see Robert Taylor getting in the mix. Last season, you were like, who is Robert Taylor? This season, you're like, holy shit, Robert Taylor. It's just like that level of confidence and that experience. He's over here yelling at these players, telling them where to be. He's just bringing so much to the table around him, and it's just we got to be able to shut him down and not leave positions open whenever we're shutting him down, because it's not gonna be like one person mark Messi. It's gonna be a double mark. Don't leave this exposed because this is why he's doing it. It's just we got to bring the energy and be smart about it as well.
Yeah,
Monica's going to have that man in his pocket. What are you talking about?
For real, right? I mean, one of the things too, Brian, that we can talk about as well. I mean, this presents a very beautiful opportunity for Lattanzio, right? To show us, right? Everybody's been on his back this season, right? Hey, we're not playing well. The defense is bad. Players look like they don't understand what's going on, right? You put up a tactical masterclass against Inter Miami, and you pull that through. All of a sudden, the mood around this coach can potentially change.
Yeah, I mean, it would set them up to compete regardless of the outcome in the semifinal for a Champions League spot, which is just, I think, really far away from where our expectations were just a few weeks ago. So to be at this point, I mean, Lattanzio's got himself set up, I mean, to be internationally recognized, right? Just like every game that Miami plays, there's an opportunity to be sort of on an international spotlight, and that's what this opportunity then presents, not only for Lattanzio but for the entire team, all the players. And actually, I think we haven't really talked about him yet, and it's props to both him and Lattanzio, but Privet, the decision to play Andrew Privet from the jump in Leagues Cup, who's now played a pivotal role,
See what you did. This man coming out with the puns. Bam, he said.
And then, but like to set him up for that and to stick with him for 4 straight games now, and to him to keep showing up like he has, I think he's been a really solid performer. And I think I mean, that also, some credit needs to go to Lattanzio for that as well, to make that decision in a situation where he's probably going into the Leagues Cup like, man, this is like my job's on the line, right? That was the mood around the fan base, so to make that move in that spot is, I mean, props to him to do that. I guess maybe his hands were forced a little bit with the injuries, but I mean, still to make that decision in that moment, I think is really clutch. So, I mean, maybe he can find that move against Miami. I mean, I don't see why not. They're in the spot.
The pressure's not on us, though. The pressure's not on us, right?
No, definitely not.
And we seem to play up to the teams we play against, right? Or we play down, right? I mean, look at Philly last year. Nobody was expecting us to come out there and just spank those boys, right? And we did it, right? Yep. So I'm telling you, man, I feel good about this game. I think we win Friday, man. You heard it here, folks, man. I'm going to go put $50 on it too. That's how confident I am. I'm just after I win the lottery tonight. After I win the lottery,
forget that lottery ticket. I'm putting 50 on Charlotte, baby.
Yeah. No, but I think as long as we can sort of contain Messi, right, and stop Messi from doing Messi stuff, I think the rest is going to fall into place for us. It's really just going to determine how we neutralize Messi against us. That's it.
Sure. I mean, we also saw a couple minutes from our new number 10, right? Big responsibility and Breck de Jager to come in.
We already talked about him, Jorge.
Right. Did y'all? My bad. What did y'all say?
I'm just messing. Go ahead. We did. Go ahead. We'll let you. It's your show, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. I had to dip out for a little bit. Right. How would you start him against Inter Miami from the get-go? What would you do?
I don't know. I don't know if we start him. I think maybe bring him on like we did against Houston, maybe about the 60th minute or so.
Yeah, I'll agree. I say no. I think
too tired.
Start more defensively, midfield wise, and then towards the end we'll put him in, just like how we did with Houston. I agree with that.
Yeah, I got Top Ben, man. If I hit the lottery, man, me and Top Ben are gonna go buy Miami.
Let's go.
Yeah. FC, not Inter.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot. I don't think. What did you guys make of his debut, real quickly?
I thought he did pretty good, right? I mean, he did the step overs, he did all that, he whiffed the ball. Like we were saying earlier, I think he's going to get a little frustrated on how weak some of the calls are because he came in playing a little more aggressive, and but once he kind of figures out MLS refs and obviously the heat, I think he's going to be great. Y'all funny.
They're great. I love when the chat flames me.
I know, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, with the midfield trio that we had against Houston, though, how confident are you with that same three going into the Miami game?
See, that's actually where I think de Jager could be pivotal from the jump because we're going to have opportunities to counter, right? I mean, Miami is going to play with a ton of confidence going forward, as they have been since Messi's gotten there. And they play like 7 or 8 guys high, like with tons of guys in the box, which is why they got countered so often against Dallas. So those opportunities are going to be there for Charlotte as well, where they're going up against a back line that's on the back foot. And I mean, Miami's numbers also, they don't really track back to defend. They're all trying to attack. They don't really want to defend. And so you can see there's plenty of opportunities to have numbers, but Charlotte haven't really had that guy dictating play and actually taking advantage of those opportunities. And I mean, I'd imagine that's one of the key reasons why de Jager was signed, was to bring that sort of option who can, create those moments and do something with their numerical advantages, because they should have them. So I would prefer, because there's several spots. I mean, we talked about Bronico missing that finish. Bronico had several opportunities where he was in a dangerous opportunity around the box, or dangerous spot around the box. If Brecht is in those spots, is that the difference?
Yeah, but the question to that though is, I mean, he's new to the heat, right? I mean, if we start him off, right, he doesn't make more than 70 minutes, in my opinion, right? He's just going to, I feel like he's going to be wore down. It'd be different if he had been playing a couple of games in MLS and then came, but that heat, man, that shit's a beast, man. I mean, I about died playing Saturday out there on that Queen's Cup, but I'm pushing 50 up.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if you're going to wear the number 10 at Charlotte FC, right? What better match to start it off than to be your first, start than Inter Miami, right? I mean, he's got the opportunity to show that he's going to be a guy that we can count on, right? And that's what I want to see, right? If you're wearing a number 10, in my eyes, that's one of the most special shirts. That means you're a difference maker in a team. And we need to see that. I need to believe that this is the guy that's going to take us to the promised land. And he has an opportunity to show us that against Messi and Inter Miami.
Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean he subs in for Bronico from the start. I think he could sub in for Arfield too if you want to keep Bronico out there as a work rate guy. Because honestly, Arfield had that goal against Necaxa, but honestly, everybody played well in that game. And he's kind of disappeared, I feel like, a lot during the stretches and the other opportunities he's had. Not saying he still shouldn't get opportunities, but I mean, I wouldn't say it has to be Bronico being the one subbed out. I think you could put Brecht in for either Arfield or Bronico in the
You know what? Not to get off of the upcoming game, but if Brecht's number 10, I mean, what does that do for the Capetti-Carroll debate?
Well, we talk.
Carroll starts.
Who starts up top because you can't drop Swiderski back.
Yeah.
We're gonna lose Jorge again.
You start Ajiman. You just don't worry about either of them. And you just start Ajiman.
You just call Ajiman. He'll answer. I need to learn that little dance he be doing because that thing's sweet.
Yeah. Hey, we lose top in the game. Welcome back to the Fan TV show, folks, man, where we have internet and we never drop internet because we pay our internet bill. Unlike Top Ben, apparently he keeps pushing in, he's got that pay per minute kind of deal. So,
Manny, get it together over there, man. What are y'all doing?
I know it's terrible. It's terrible. But yeah, I mean, that's it, right? I just think we neutralize Messi, man, and I think we'll be okay, man. And you know what's going to be?
No big deal.
No. But you know what? Kalina, here's your chance, man, to really stick it to me, man, because I was busting on him a little bit last night when he was playing, man. But, if he comes up and makes some big saves against Messi, I would never speak bad about this guy again either, man. I'll go pick up his groceries for it even.
Imagine every free kick that we get, Messi takes saved by Kalina.
And saves a penalty.
Boom.
We're winning 2-1 in the 89th minute. They call a bullshit penalty so the script stays on point. Kalina steps up and saves it.
There you go.
Wow.
And I think this is a big opportunity for Kalina, too, to just be the leader in that back line. Because I think that's what the back line's really missing is just that vocal leader, somebody who's really going to, rally that unit together, which is a big reason why I think they gave up that goal. Byrne was chasing down the ball and put himself out of position, which left Privet isolated, and then Lindsay also wasn't in position because there was they overloaded his side. And so if you have more of a central vocal figure leading that group and dictating that line, I mean, there's got to be Kalina or one of the center backs. But the thing is, you got Malanda and Privet playing center back, which is there's a 23-year-old and a 21-year-old. So I think I think there's a good shout too for Kalina just to not only lead with his saves, but lead as just the leader of that back.
Well, and I was going to bring up what Alan mentioned in the comments here, right? It's like I feel like we should always leave a man back, right? Let's not be so gun-ho to get 10 people up there in the other half. Let's play like that old style sweeper kind of thing, right? Just to kind of mop it up, slow the game down, take a team foul or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Just to kind of knock them off their game. Go ahead, Dave.
Go Dave.
No, go ahead. I was just agreeing with Lee.
So, I think that's where they're sort of missing that Jones piece. And I don't think necessarily, I like what Westwood's doing, being in that more deeper role and really connecting play and getting tons of touches on the ball. But I think that's what you miss when you make that switch. Jones is more than willing to stay back and really hang in to almost like a back five, whereas Westwood's role is
is Jones going to start?
No, I'd imagine they're going to stick with the same midfield, or then De Gea is the one I think that we could see maybe coming in just because of sort of the all the hype surrounding that signing and what I think that signing is supposed to mean for both Latanzio and the team as a whole. That was the big impact signing. So that was the one I could see making that change. But I'd imagine other than Byrne, the whole lineup is likely to stay the same. Why would you rotate something that's gotten you to the quarterfinals, which is the furthest you've gotten in any tournament?
Well, because it's Latanzio, and we've seen all season long when things are going good, he likes to tinker, right? Maybe he learned his lesson. I don't know.
But he's hung in there. Has he made one? I don't think he's made one change.
Just that Miriam Vargas sort of.
That's right. That's right.
But
that makes we haven't talked about that yet either. But Miriam seems to have really lost a step in terms of his passing hasn't been as sharp. Right? He's missed multiple opportunities on counters and stuff too. I have been kind of surprised by that because when he came here on fire out of the gate, but it seems like he's missing a step or something.
Yeah, his 1v1s have dropped too. Like whenever he first came, he had that little pizzazz to him. He'd let you get to him, he'd bait you in, and then boom, he'd cut you off. But you haven't seen much of that lately. He's lost a little bit of that flair. I don't know what it is, but
it's like with anything when you do something like new, right? You kind of feel fresh and ready to go, and then once you kind of get into a routine, and again, I mean, he was a squad player from Salt Lake too, so to say he's a starter would be hard to say. But I mean, I'm impressed with the team. I think the team's played well. I think I didn't think we'd get this far, but now I think it's up to us, man. I seriously think we're going to win Friday.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I don't think it's going to be a win in regular time. I believe it's going to be 2-2 and then a penalty win.
Penalties. Kalina steps up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Kalina steps up. He's going to save Messi's penalty. I'm dreaming big here.
Yeah, I mean, his dream big will go home, right? That's exactly what's going to happen.
I'm speaking too much. I'm gonna just stop there. There.
So if if the world, everything aligns, right? Do we get to host a game in the semifinal, or what's going on there?
It depends if like Querétaro wins. Before we got on the live, hold on, let me point this way. Boy, Brian was telling me Querétaro has to win in order for us to host the semis. Because if we play an MLS team, it's whoever finishes higher on the table.
Right.
Yeah, and so Querétaro would play the winner of Philly and New York Red Bulls, who are playing tonight, and both of them finished higher in the standings. I'm pretty sure that's how it's going for every round. At least that's what it's looked like so far. So,
yeah. I mean, it's exciting times, man. I mean, Charlotte's going to be in the spotlight, man. This is probably going to be the biggest game of our short history, right? And I would love just to shut up all the pundits, mess up all the advertising on the MLS network, on Apple TV, like get Messi off of there. Every time I turn it on, it's like some highlight of Messi. They don't show where it was that one-on-one last night or the other night, and they missed it, right?
What would be great? It would be great. A 1-0 win at the DRV Pink Stadium. A Karol Sardevsky goal at the very end.
That's it. Yes. Bring it home. Bring it home.
That would be great. That would be great.
If they put up a clean sheet against this Miami team, that would be wow.
I don't see us putting up a clean sheet.
No, I don't think so either. But I'm just saying.
Outscore.
Yeah. Saying.
Yeah, I mean, we leak goals, man. We're like a leaky faucet back there, or something, right? It is what it is. But we learn to live with it, and you get used to the noise.
Man, we better tighten it up because Messi and friends has been exposing, boy.
I don't know, man. Messi had that bad game. I'm telling you, man. I'm gonna get dragged Friday evening if we lose, man. But screw it, man. I'm going down the limb. I'm all in, man. I'm all Charlotte FC.
Well, me too, man.
And Miami got exposed against Dallas, right? They gave up 4 goals. Probably could have been 5 or 6, like Jorge was saying. Like they got exposed, and that's honestly how I expect a lot of their season to go. They're going to be able to score tons of goals because Messi's going to put up like 20 by the end of the season or something ridiculous, and then the rest of their team. Alba had 2 assists in his first start, so like they have tons of attacking threats. But the thing is, their whole back line is still like a B squad, and so. Yeah. They're going to give up goals, and those guys don't want to defend. That's the whole reason they came to MLS. They're here to build brands and shine and do all that stuff. And so part of that, I think part of their game plan is to really stay high and not defend too much. I think there's a lot of situations where Miami could be like at a huge numerical disadvantage on defensively, where they could be like 7v11.
Yeah, I will say, though, Dallas came out really fast in that game, right?
Yeah.
Kind of kept that tempo going, and I think that's what threw Miami off, Oh, look, man, it's the AOL guy, man. You had to jump over there in the chat room, man, and tell Patrick to come score, man.
Listen, dog, like Charlotte in Leagues Cup, dude, not once, but twice I came back. So
But that mug's been, you know what? He's been sitting on that all day, probably.
Yeah.
Like, watch this. I'm just gonna drop out, man. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
He was
I'm
sitting
man, he
down,
just
bro.
keep
He was
going the
playing
internet.
Valorant.
You know, the worst thing about you dropping off is like we can't end the live show. We have to keep talking until you come back. This could be like a 24-hour like
listen,
riding the bike kind of thing, man. We just keep going, right? So yeah.
Internet Legacy FC.
Yeah, that's all right, man. We're starting to GoFundMe for your internet provider, man.
Yo.
Go pay that damn bill.
Please, I'm waiting for a call back from them right now because we owe like 4 months. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
hopefully I
why
can
you keep hanging
negotiate it
up.
down to 3
Oh.
months because we need the rest of the money to go to Miami. So
There you go. Are you going Friday?
yeah, we'll
Right.
definitely be there. Yeah. So
$230 for a ticket, man. No,
yeah.
not going. I don't care. Nope.
I can't,
I know,
man. I
I know
tried.
the
I
club was
tried.
talking
I
about busting
tried.
some folks down there, but I'm not paying $230 to go.
Unfortunately, I
That's
can't
crazy.
make it. I wanted to. I was gonna risk it. I was gonna risk it, but I can't do it.
If they say where the official watch party is yet,
Nah, I haven't heard anything. Oh, you should pull up to our watch party, bro.
I could do that.
I got you, dog. I'll tell you the. You know what I mean?
Yeah, on the down low.
Yeah.
I don't think we're on there
And if anybody else in the channel wants to know the, hit me up on.
on Insta.
Yeah. You see the ad down here. Hit me on the.
That's it.
For
Yeah.
the.
I didn't know he just got back from the Barbie movie.
I did wear pink specifically for that.
It's the Barbie movie, man. Who you kidding, man? He's got a little hottie on the side, man. She talked him into going. He's like, anything for you, baby.
For sure. You know, we got a new sponsor now, so
That's it. Yeah. Markel. Who is it? Who is the
Olsinski Law Firm, dog. Give him a call.
I was trying to think of who was the toy manufacturer that made Barbies.
I have no idea. Guys, what have we talked about that I missed?
Man, we've actually talked about everything, man. So Top Ben, where can we find you at? No, we were just talking about like, you know, what we're gonna have to do against Messi, you know, the formation. We were talking about, you know, like, hey, maybe we'll play that kind of that old school sweeper role where we have somebody kind of sit back and not get beat on the counter as easy, you know, maybe take a team foul, that kind of stuff. Patel, thank you.
I got you. I know I touched on Brecht, right? But I want to also touch on DJ. Do you bring him back and start him immediately?
Well, we had that conversation too.
Have y'all?
Yeah. And we carried you tonight, brother.
Y'all really did.
The teamwork makes the dream work.
Y'all did. What did everybody say?
We're saying we don't start him.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Consistency.
I don't know.
Who do you drop then? Who do you drop?
You drop Privet, dog, and you put him at center back.
Oh, well. I don't know if I'll drop Privet, man. I don't know if I'll drop Privet.
No.
Oh, man. You can't. Why are you going to drop Privet?
He was
He's
at
proven
fault
himself
for
so far,
He was
man.
at
What's he
fault
done
for
wrong?
that first
Oh,
goal.
come on. Get out of here, man.
Who was at fault for that first goal? Was he
Is
not?
he? Everybody's made mistakes on that team,
It
man.
was-
We should
yeah,
thank everybody for that reason.
That was another bad. I mean, because Lindsey was overloaded on his side. There was at least 3 Houston attackers on that side that nobody was marking because, I mean, Lindsey was left on an island and he wasn't able to mark anybody. Byrne chased the ball carrier down, and so he was out of position, which left Privet stranded. That was a mess. I mean, I wouldn't.
But you know, 9 times out of 10
solely
though in the MLS though, man, that like when he volleyed that one typically would have gone straight over or gone wide, man, and he just happened to hit it perfectly on target.
Gotcha. All right, cool. So do we drop Messi?
Now I tell you, he's gonna drop Messi as Bronico, man.
Yeah, we got to drop kick him within the first 10 minutes of the match because
just
that's
do it in
when
the
he likes
locker
to
room as
score,
you're
man.
coming
That's
out,
when he
man.
likes to score.
Yeah,
We got 7 minutes to injure him, and that's it.
yeah. I see Crown breakdown, man. He's got it, man. I would definitely. I don't put it on Privet, man. I think Privet starts.
I mean, he was at fault for the goal too, right? So like we're not saying
Yeah,
he
on the
wasn't at
counter,
fault.
man.
I'm saying that, you know, you put in DJ at the center back role because he can play. He's a more experienced player and can play that hybrid role better than Privet, is what I'm saying.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think again, once you start learning how the other guy's playing beside you, man, if you keep chopping and change that, how does that affect Nalanda?
Okay. we won't have this conversation because my internet might cut off again.
That's right. Well, what you can do, you can FaceTime me and I'll hold you up.
Perfect. We'll do that. We'll do that. I did want to talk a little bit about what's going on with Joseph Mora, right? Unfortunately, right, we saw him, his contract get waived today, which I really don't understand. You learn MLS and then they throw these other things at you and you have no idea what goes on, right?
I thought we couldn't do that.
Huh?
I thought we couldn't waive another player this year.
That's what I'm trying to find out too, right? And so, anyways, the biggest reason was, one, we just brought in, how do you say his name?
Right?
No.
Oh, the Finnish guy.
Yeah, we just brought in Yede. So Yede came in, so Mora was finished. Right?
Yeah. Again, right, the rules of MLS is you almost need a PhD, man.
So one, we brought in a left back, and two, in terms of the roster, right? You couldn't keep both, so they figured out a way to get Mora out, which, in my opinion, Mora was Latanzio'd, right? I mean, he didn't fit how Latanzio wanted to play, and so, you know, we saw him get very limited minutes. I think it was very telling where you saw him take Nathan Byrne from a right back to a left back and not play Mora. Right?
Bronico at left back.
Bronico at left back.
I mean, that says everything you have.
That was probably the most criminal thing we've seen all season, right?
That was cold, man. Yeah.
That's kind of disrespectful.
For sure. What do you guys make of Joseph Mora and him being waived at Charlotte?
I don't know. I mean, I would have given him until the end of the season and just done it then, man. Just kind of had him sitting back home or whatever, just kind of doing the workouts, right, just in case for that depth. But, you know, obviously there was a bigger reason by it, maybe a salary cap thing. I don't know.
Yeah, no, from my understanding is the roster spot.
Yeah.
You know, he occupied a senior roster spot. They couldn't keep both him and Yede, so they got rid of Mora in order to make fit for him, right? So that was the reason. I mean, obviously because he's also a left back, but two, because they needed that senior roster spot for him.
Yeah. He didn't. Did he take an international spot too? I don't think he did he?
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
No.
He didn't. But, I mean, I don't know, right? Like, I mean, when he played, he didn't do bad, right? So, like, I can think of 3 or 4 other players that have played worse than Joseph Mora this season, right? But I think it falls more on coaching preferences versus what this player can bring. Because, you know, he was asked directly, Latanzio, about Joseph Mora on the press conference right before we played Necaxa at home. And he said, you know what, Joseph Mora is a great professional. You know, he comes in, he shows up. Unfortunately, he does not fit what I want to do. So those words were very, very telling, right? I mean, I knew he would be gone by the end of the season if we kept Latanzio, but, you know, they progressed that and got rid of him now.
Somebody will pick him up, though.
Yeah, a lot of rumors are that he's going back to Costa Rica. So we'll see.
Not a bad spot to fall, is it?
Pura vida. Right.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that, Brian?
No, I mean he's a more traditional left back. Great one. I mean when he was getting minutes, he was probably at the time our best 1v1 defender. It's just he just doesn't fit the role, like he said, that Latanzio wants. He wants a more mobile left back who's capable of playing centrally, out wide, moving around a decent amount, contributing to the attack, and those are things that just weren't Mora's strengths.
For sure, and I want to echo everybody's complaints about the roster rules, right? I mean, they're so stupid, in my opinion. They really need to address this, right? Because one, that, and like there's even rules that we're not even privy to. So what's the point of putting out stuff that is not 100% accurate if there's rules in the back that nobody knows about that, you know, may cause this thing to be true or not true at certain times? It's so stupid.
That's what makes it seem even more shady what Miami's doing, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a subclause C on Article B on, you know, whatever, paragraph C.
Yeah. And I looked and just this is my opinion. It also feels like MLS and MLS pundits pushed really, really hard, almost too hard, to try to make us believe that everything that Miami was doing was under the books. I was like, why are y'all defending this so heavily?
They
right?
couldn't
I
even
was
be
like,
under
you
the
defending
books
this
with
so heavily.
mediocre players.
Yeah, they had so that's what is it? Jonathan Segal wrote a roster rules article about the whole Miami offseason. Like, look, this is how it was. These are the DPs. This is how it switched around. But there's just no way Jordi Alba went from according to Capology, he was making 11 million last year, has never made less than 5 mil in a decade with Barcelona. And so you're telling me now he's making 1.5 or less, from where he's never done that in his entire career in the last decade. So I don't buy that at all.
Messi's paying him a little bit. Right? Messi writes him a check every week.
Yeah. To me, it felt like overplayed. Like they were really trying to convince us. And anytime you're trying to really convince me about something, I know you have something up your sleeves that you don't want to tell us about, right? So I mean, that's the reality of this league too. Where Garber said we're open and we're flexible, right? I mean, if the links with Neymar or Mbappe are true and they decide to try to come in now, they'll figure out something to whatever team is trying to get them, right? So I mean, at the end of the day, I think there's a lot of positives that Messi's brought, but there's also a lot of negatives that get highlighted even more that we just don't really talk about because you know what, the league hasn't had that type of focus before, but now a lot of these issues are going to be brought to light.
Well, and the whole point of the roster rules, right, was so we have markets like Salt Lake, Charlotte, Columbus, markets that are not going to draw big-time stars. And so the whole point of the roster rules was to be like, okay, we're going to help reduce those issues that those clubs are going to have to kind of be able to help them compete against Miami, against LA, against New York. But if you disregard the roster rules, then okay, so now it's just back to you can have fake roster rules that are still now just all the big cities are still going to take advantage of it again.
It would be nice for one of these MLS pundits to kind of just bullet point how it worked, right? I haven't seen anything. It's more been one-off answers here and there, but hey, come out, right? Everybody's like, how the hell did y'all get this to work? Why don't you give us something to read about it, how it all went down and how this is actually working?
Well, Segal did. I just don't buy it because there's just no way Alba makes. He broke it down. It's just bullshit.
Oh, you have to send me
that link. It is. It's like they're selling us something. And I'm like, I don't know. This sounds too not true. You know, it's like somebody trying to tell you the sky is green, but you clearly see it's blue.
Yeah.
I mean, last night it looked kind of green. That storm was bad, dude. Yeah. But I mean, I think Kyle said it though. I mean, wasn't Miami under some financial?
Yep.
They were getting punished for
because
screwing it up with mediocre players.
Their first season, they had 5 DPs, right? Yeah. And so they got caught because of that. But
they thought it said down there the DPs.
Different now. They don't want to punish Miami because they got Messi now.
Yeah.
When it was Pizarro, when it was Matuidi, when it was these guys, it mattered. Now that you have Messi and you have stars coming to every match, right? A-list celebrities, whatever you want to call it, right? Now the rules don't really matter. So this is where I get at, right? That I feel like the commissioner's doing a terrible job of wanting to grow the league, but also not being transparent about it. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, I think Miami though, earlier to their defense, I think when they were looking at DPs, they thought it meant doesn't play. So they had 5 people that doesn't play, and unfortunately, they broke the rules. So there's that. And yeah, I mean, Kyle says it again, right? We got Adidas and the league helping out with this Messi deal, man. If that's not shady, that's a conflict of interest right there, man.
It is, but I get, if you do that, and that makes sense for one DP, right? If it's just Messi, right? Okay. Get him here because it's a once in a lifetime type of player. But then when you start doing other stuff like Jordi Alba not being a DP but somehow fitting in, that's where I have a problem. Yeah. Where it's this is not believable, right? Yeah. So it's you're telling me that Neymar is going to come into the league and be a 10 player, right? I'm I don't know if I would believe that either.
How'd you go?
Say that again.
And how did you go?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it's just Jordi Alba would be to not be at DP would have to take like 1,000% pay cut. It's like an insane pay cut. It just doesn't
It's
matter.
probably does percentage of shirt sales or any of that come into play in these contracts?
It does for Miami.
No, for real.
Yeah.
I would say it's more on the lines of, maybe Jorge Mas offered him some other business opportunity outside of MLS, or like, hey, I have this company, or I could get you this, or whatever, right?
Mm.
So that might be something that's enticing, right? When you have a billionaire telling you, promising you the world outside of the league too, I'd say you start thinking about it. That's the only other viable option I see, where he says, you're not going to make much playing soccer, but here's 5 different business ventures where you're going to make 20, 30 million in the next couple of years, right? So it might be one of those cases.
I mean, that's also why they drew Messi, even though he's on a DP contract. That's also why Messi chose MLS. He knows that long term, there's a huge legacy aspect to this, where like in a decade, Messi's going to have a branding similar to how Beckham was in 07. Like, I mean, Beckham's contract had Beckham's deal had nothing to do with his salary. It had everything to do with the fact that he now owns a club.
For real, let's give Mbappe the Panthers.
Yeah.
So Messi's going to be the Sacramento owner. Is that correct?
Nah, he gets to pick a team anywhere he wants, and it's going to be called Messi FC.
That's interesting.
So you could listen. If you win the lottery, Lee, call Messi and say, listen, I got a proposal. Messi FC, Denver, North Carolina. Build it here, right next to the Harris Teeter. Everybody's gonna go.
What next to the Walmart around here, man?
Or next to the
there's some free land right there. Though I'm wondering, like, they haven't built anything there yet. We could get a pitch in with about 30,000, I think. Yeah, there'd be free parking in the Walmart parking lot for everybody, man. It'd be good. There's like a bus stop right there too, so we can do the tailgates right there. We're covered, man.
Are you doing SSL's seat supporters licensing?
No, man. We'll keep tickets under $20.
Hey, you heard it here first.
Yeah, up top. Now down at the bottom. That's
all right, boys.
Yes, we do.
Let's go into some score predictions as well, right? And I want to hear from everybody in the comment section. Does Charlotte stand a chance against Miami, and what is that score going to be? I'll start off with you, Mr. Palma.
I say Charlotte ties 2-2 regular time, and then we bring it home in penalty kicks.
Ooh, I like that. That was my Cruz Azul prediction.
Yeah, same. I'm doing it again.
Nice. Brian?
I predicted a 2-1 win against Houston, so
yeah, I was gonna run with my Cruz Azul prediction again as well. I was gonna go 3-3. It didn't work against Cruz Azul, but I mean, there's just no way there's not a goal.
Yeah, that's facts.
And then Charlotte on PKs.
I hope that's wrong. I just hope we don't get. I think it's going to be 3-2. We're going to win 3-2.
Nice. I like it, dog. All right, here's my prediction, right? It's going to be raining because it's definitely Miami, Fort Lauderdale, right? It'll start hitting hard. Minute 63, Messi scores. It's 1-0. We're all kind of mad, upset, right? Latanzio, what are you doing, dog? The team's not playing well. Ben Bender comes in. The rain starts going away. Then out of the sky, you see the sun and a little bit of light hit Ben. After that light hits Ben, he ties it up for us at minute 73, right? So 10 minutes after Messi scores, right? And it's a back and forth game, a lot of action, shots, misses, posts, right? Minute 90 comes, right? We have a corner kick, last corner kick of the game, right? They cross the ball in. It hits Alba in the face, and it goes in. And our number one player, DP, 5-year contract, own goal, comes in for us. We win 2-1. We all go crazy. The Charlotte fans go crazy.
Not about
me and Enzo lock eyes, and he comes and hugs me, and
Enzo, he's down there. Dude, he's down there just trying to get the Messi shirt, man. That's
for real. And then we just hug and we embrace each other. And Charlotte make it to the semifinals. I'm sticking with that. Nobody's gonna deny me that dream. It's gonna happen.
It's the floodlights, is what you mean, right? There's like Dennis says here, sun on the pitch after 9 a.m. in Miami. No, you mean the floodlights.
Someone says my internet's going off again.
We wish it would.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on. I apologize for all my internet mishaps. It's really not my internet. It was my laptop that kept kept dying. But anyways, Brian, where can we find you at?
Yeah, y'all can find me on Twitter at BamMauer Media. You can also find all my written content at topbid90.com. And we got another episode of Dropping Points. Me and Blake are recording tonight to go over the transfers for MLS to go see how they're fantasy relevant. So if you're into MLS fantasy, check out that show. We'll have it out tomorrow.
I love it. David, where can we find you at, my man?
You can catch me at CLTFC Yeti Clan on Instagram and on YouTube. We dropped a vlog of the Necaxa home game. So hopefully y'all can check that out. It was a lot of fun making that one. We went around asking people how to spell Necaxa. That was really fun.
There weren't too many people that could.
It was fun. And plus, that game was a banger, so you definitely want to check it out.
For sure. Lee?
Yeah, we're on at CLTFC Fan TV everywhere on all the socials. Tomorrow night, we're going to have our live at 9 to 10 on our YouTube channel. We've got Miami Fan TV coming on. We've got it set up so that you guys can actually call into the show and say your piece. So, if we're going to do that, y'all have to call in. But, yeah, just find us on YouTube. Really. What's that?
That's your chance to be Ajiman.
That's it. Call into the show, man. Let us know what you think, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
Where are we watching the game? We are watching the game in Fort Lauderdale, right? We will be there. Pitch side. I'll be just watching Messi. Hopefully he locks eyes with me and we can have a special moment together. So that's what I'm hoping for. You can find us at TopBid90 on all our socials. We got some fire articles coming out soon. We got some really cool other stuff. 3 more days, right, to sign up to the Subscribers Cup? Yep. We're going to have a very cool gift for you guys at the end of the season for that as well. So make sure you subscribe.
I got my gift from last season.
You didn't win.
Oh, you always tell me I'm always winning.
Yeah, for sure. With that said, you guys have a great night. Thank you for coming on.